Welcome back to the Bruce Poinsette Show. This is the B Block where I like to lighten things up a little bit. And what better way to do that than talk about a show we're both watching right now? Honestly, about a favorite Marvel character of mine, one Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk.
The She-Hulk, one of my favorites as well, actually.
Yeah, so I think as of recording through episode 5, I'm going to go, I think it's 9 episodes, right?
Yes, it's going to be 9 episodes.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, She-Hulk, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. I guess the female version of the Hulk, Jen Walters, who is Bruce Banner's cousin. She becomes a She-Hulk, basically. Like, she gets exposed. It was like, what was it? Blood-to-blood contact with Bruce. In the comics, she's like the target of a mob hit, and
he needs to do like a blood transfusion.
He has to do a blood transfusion, and then she gets the gamma, and she becomes a She-Hulk. But yeah, it's the show itself is, it's like, I think it's, while Marvel's always done a lot of comedy, it's definitely like, it's either the first or one of the first like full, just like, it's a full comedy.
I would agree. I think it's full comedy.
Yeah. Like, very full comedy, a little lawyer procedural. So for those of you who, used to watch Harvey Birdman back in the day, it should definitely, it has a lot of those vibes.
Yeah.
Except with, live action Marvel superheroes. And yeah, Ada, I'm curious, what do you think of the show so far?
I think, truthfully, the world is being really harsh on She-Hulk. I think it's fun. I think it is cute. I think that honestly, it is so far, it's been one of my favorites out of the shows. It goes up there. I really enjoyed Ms. Marvel. I really enjoyed a lot of them. But I just think that like, it's a good way to do a fun Marvel story. And I think it's important because like the character is really chill and like the character is a classic character. And I feel like it's really accurate to a lot of the comics that I've read from her. So like, yeah, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, and I like you brought up sort of like the classic comics, especially I really became a fan of She-Hulk while kind of getting into the John Byrne run from I think it's like the late 80s or early 90s. And the thing that, is very notable about She-Hulk is long before Deadpool, she was the first character to really like just regularly break the fourth wall. And you see that a lot in the series. And I think it's just that humor, that ability to, especially like, part of, you allude to the internet being pretty harsh, and specifically a certain section of the internet, aggrieved men, a lot of white men, but aggrieved men across the board who, because the show it does this wild thing where it's the main character is a woman who in her life deals with misogyny because I'm not sure if you've met us men people out here.
We can be misogynist though.
Yes. So a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, it's the woke show. It's like, I guess, a hit dog hollers, right? But yeah, no, I've been loving it. Like, it's just, like you said, it's fun. You've had up through, you have had a bunch of cameos, which, some people don't like. You've had Bruce Banner, of course, the original Hulk.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of Wong.
So much Wong. Wong is killing it.
The Wong CU. It's wonderful. You had Madison with Madison with 2 N's and 1 Y.
Yeah, but it's not where you think. Yeah.
I think what's been great, with She-Hulk, because people have been saying, oh, is Marvel slipping? The ratings, especially like they're saying with Miss Marvel, especially were like low or something. I mean, I loved Miss Marvel.
Same.
I thought it was a great show, but you had a lot of people coming out saying, I'm not even going to watch this because this is not even for me or whatever. Again, dude bros.
Misogynists.
Yeah. But what's been funny with She-Hulk is people tried to do the same thing, but She-Hulk's been winning the internet,
dude,
every week.
Yes,
like the first episode, and I think what's been really awesome about it too is like the first 4, they all have the Marvel stingers at the end.
Mhm.
So by now everyone knows about like the first episode where there's this ongoing conversation during it about whether or not Captain America is a virgin,
right?
and at the end, of course, Jen gets Bruce to reveal that, oh no, he lost his virginity at the USO show in 1940, whatever. And then it's just like, Captain America, fuck!
Right.
It's just, for my money, it has to be, is it the best Marvel stinger ever? If not, it's close.
It's close. Because, look, I got to give it. I know we're going to get there. Mm-hmm. But, as we know, was it episode 3?
Which?
The Megan Thee Stallion episode.
Yeah. Admittedly, that's the other. So, again, stingers, we're just going to skip to episode 3 where, is a heavy Megan Thee Stallion, just feature cameo. And then, of course, they go to the stinger and it's She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion twerking. And, when you want to talk about the ridiculous of the internet, it's just, again, the dude bros getting, angry about twerk. Like,
She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion twerking.
Like, we can all, Marvel is giving us permission to all just be thirsty people.
Right. You could have
let it happen
on the exact opposite side of this. Like, I feel like they know, like, Marvel fans have been pining for She-Hulk since the conceptualization of the character.
Right.
And you're telling me that one of the most, like, proud, sex-forward artists in the modern day and She-Hulk are twerking on a Marvel show and y'all are mad?
Yeah. And She-Hulk, let's be clear in the comments, She-Hulk is very sex positive.
Yes,
She-Hulk,
absolutely.
Like, She-Hulk stands in herself. She is proud and is wonderful. And again, I think the wild part is when people try and get like faux intellectual with it. It's like, well, this isn't true to the comics. Really?
Are you sure?
What She-Hulk comics have you read?
Right.
Like, especially like the comics this is based off of. What? But it's all like, it's all true to the character. It's all there, but people who have clearly, I mean, I'm already giving too much credence to like this idea that people are arguing from a place of logic, because they're not. They're just doing troll.
Yeah, they're doing troll.
They're literally copy and pasting arguments from other things. They've not read She-Hulk, or they don't care what the actual She-Hulk comics do. But it's just, yeah. Meanwhile, I mean, I think it was always funny, like in the trailer, of course, they have She-Hulk on a date and just like literally carrying a guy to the bedroom.
Right.
I remember like myself, because like I don't make memes, but that was like maybe a month or 2 after the the Drake album. What was it?
Oh, I forgot.
Certified Lover Boy. That's what it was. So I just kind of like redid that, except with all the guys raising their hands in that picture. And I was like, I'm really proud of myself for this. But what was funny is like, again, it's not just guys. It's across the spectrum. People like, lift me.
Yes.
Again, like I feel like permissive thirst. And I want to shout out YouTube creator Andre, who does Black Nerd Comedy.
Yes, I love him.
Like his She-Hulk, like episode reactions, or not reactions, but like reviews are amazing.
Yes.
And specifically, he tries to do the respectful thirst where like he's talking about substance, and he's like, he has to like depart, but he'll just like run off camera and then just start screaming, "Oh my God." Okay, I'm back.
Yes.
It's just like, and like, this is, you know what? There's a space for this.
There is.
And we can all, like, I don't know. It's weird to me to watch people who are just trying to get mad, and like, we're all having fun here.
Yeah.
Everyone we have a courtroom procedural, again, like, we have Harvey Birdman, but in live action with Marvel superheroes.
Right. And it's just fun. I think, too, it's been really interesting because it's like, this to me solidified what I feel like I really found what I enjoy about Phase 4 in this series in full. And like what I'm finding is really funny about what the world is saying, because a lot of people have been being like, the MCU is done. This is the worst phase. The MCU is terrible now. We don't care. Like, da-da-da-da. And it's really interesting because it's like, it's far from done. They've just found a new way to give us entertainment. And like, it's more, I feel like the original appeal of the MCU, like especially like Phase 3 is when it started getting really comic booky, and like we were getting every type of comic book story under the sun. And I think we need to acknowledge comic books are real serialized and TV like, and they kind of don't, like, they don't always end in the most like conclusive way. Like, you'll have a whole series that you're watching and it's great, and then the ending's just kind of like, okay. And then that hit me literally days ago. I was like, wait, this is literally just the MCU eating up its comic book era. Like, we're getting stories about the multiverse on one side. We have Loki on this side. We have Miss Marvel, a teen book. We have She-Hulk, an absolute great comedy. And we have like all these different stories that feel like we're getting fed like a comic book series, like different comic book series. And it's really fun.
I love it. Like, that's such a great point. It's just like you have these different series, these different voices, these different styles, all actually like existing in the same universe in like that point you made about the like being serialized and like TV. So yeah, like each week, you know, or like, yeah, back in my days when I had two, you know, I had boxes at two stores and I was living that dream, you know. You read your page. It's like your 15-minute episode in this, you know, comic, and then it's like to be continued to the next week, and you have, you know, your six issue run, your sometimes more, sometimes less.
Right.
But it's like these shows are very much like that, and it's like, yeah,
and like I think I gotta acknowledge too. It's like, I get concerned, specifically with She-Hulk, and I think like we've been alluding to this, but like it's becoming fairly clear that it's like She-Hulk isn't bad. Maybe you're just not used to seeing women on TV. Can we talk about that? And like, let's really, like, Marvel has a lot of projects this year, the past few years, where like a lot of women have been the main characters. Like, I don't know if you know, but Twitter loves Wanda. Twitter is killing for Wanda right now. Miss Marvel was great. I think She-Hulk is great. I think most of the time, like, Angelina Jolie killed it in Eternals for me. She was my favorite Eternal. And I'm sitting here like, look, like, are these projects really that bad? Like, did you really hate Black Widow that much? I saw so many reviews of people being like, Black Widow would have been so great if it came out when Civil War came out. And I was like, why don't you just pretend like it did? Like, what's the issue? Like, what are we missing?
You can have you have Disney Plus. You can have a Marvel marathon anytime you want, in order, whatever you want to do. Black Widow will be there.
Yes.
And, you know, I wasn't even like, again, Black Widow, you know, it was all right to me. But also, even from that movie, I was like, Florence Pugh can stay forever.
Florence Pugh
and
can
ever.
stay.
Like, part of it is just, you know, maybe it's like the saturation where it's just like there's so much out there. And also we have this like reaction culture where we need to have like a strong stance on everything.
True.
And if it's not breaking through, if it's not breaking new records, then, you know, what's it doing?
Right.
Then you must be losing. But it's like, if Marvel's losing, who's winning? That's what I always come back to.
Amazon, I guess.
Maybe, but like,
they have two shows.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Like, the Boys is great.
Boys is great. Invincible is great, but those can't hold down a whole lot.
So DC is not, like, DC has some great things happening.
DC
but
is on fire right now as well.
But are they winning the battle? Like, no. If you really, like I faithfully watch Titans, and this B block was always going to come back to Titans. I swear.
Always, we love it. We need Titans or Young Justice, you know it.
But am I going to be out here defending, saying, if you're going to tell me She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, Hawkeye, pick a Marvel show and seriously tell me Titans that's worse than Titans.
Right. Truthfully, I think when you look at the bigger picture, no, Marvel's not doing that bad at all. The movies are still fun. The shows are really fun. Like, okay, so everyone, we can watch how many seasons of The Office, how many seasons of New Girl, Community, all these shows that are like, and like, mind you, these are very well written shows. Some of them are really fun, but there's also some mundane shows. Like, how many years did How I Met Your Mother last on TV?
The Big Bang.
Big Bang Theory.
And I say this as someone who, I feel like I watched a few seasons of Big Bang Theory and was like, I was in there. And if you ask me today to explain why, I can't really tell you.
So it's like, I look at where we are now, and like, I think if anyone is oversaturated, if anyone is like, this is a lot for me, I'm going to take a break, cool. But I feel like there's probably a sect of people who are watching the MCU, and I feel like there's probably a sect of like Black and brown kids and like women who are looking at the MCU right now, and they're like, this is amazing. I'm having a lot of fun because they're doing a lot of really cool shit.
Exactly. Like, again, we don't need to relitigate Young Justice, but we are not anywhere close to there.
Yeah.
We are having fun, and it emphasize again, She-Hulk has been winning the internet.
Right.
And it's not even in regards to just like comic book shows being out, like She-Hulk and Harley Quinn come out the same day.
Right.
And Harley Quinn is amazing.
Yes.
Like the fact that She-Hulk is winning the internet with this other comic book property that is doing so many great things in its own right.
Means something.
Yeah.
People really like Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn does not have a small audience.
But yeah, with that, just say a parting word is She-Hulk is fun.
She-Hulk is fun.
Just have like if seeing women on TV, it bothers you, there's like, we don't have as many mental health resources as we need.
Right.
But I promise you, therapy.
That'll help.
Therapy will help.
And please just don't rain on people's parade, man. Like, if you don't like something, that's fine. If you're a critic, great, do your job. But like, if you're just being a rude person on the internet, yelling at people for liking something, how about you just go do that somewhere else? Because people are having fun. And the Megan Thee Stallion scene was a great time. Thank you, Meg, and thank you, She-Hulk team.
Yes, thank you, She-Hulk, and again, lift me.
Lift
Please
me.